Hey everybody, it's Commander RestlessCorpse. Welcome back to Elite Dangerous. We're looking at episode 140, which is crazy to me, and I've said this before, but I was never sure that I'd end up being able to take this game that far. I remember when I first downloaded the game and I jumped into it, and I really wanted to make videos about it, but I was kind of worried because I knew that the community was kind of, pretty rabid about the game. Like the fans of the game really love the game, and the people that don't like the game really hate the game. And even what's weird is even some of the fans really hate the game for some reason. Like I've seen posts on the subreddit all the time, people bashing it, talking about a mile wide and an inch deep and all that stuff. But I was worried about making videos, and I wanted to make them as good as I could. But if you remember, some of the earlier videos is just me like not knowing what the hell I was doing, and I was really worried that people were really going to blast me about it. But you guys have been so supportive and giving me advice and all kinds of stuff. I really wouldn't be where I am in the game if not for you guys. I don't know why I've just been sitting here like coasting toward the next system without actually charging it up. But here we go. So I do have something like a story that I want to tell you guys that I have told many times to people in person because it's actually kind of funny. But before we get into that, guys, there is something that I need to bring up, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because somebody asked about it. I a while back, maybe 2-3 months ago, had thought about starting a Patreon, okay? And I was kind of iffy about it because Patreon, like, there's a lot involved in it, and it seems kind of like a hey, give me money type of thing. But apparently, I mean, people do it, and people do it successfully, and I've gotten a few comments and messages about, if I have one. The most recent comment was, I believe yesterday or the day before, asking, somebody had asked if anybody had ever asked me if I was going to set one up. And yet the answer is yes. A couple people have brought it up, but I was never really sure what I wanted to do with it. So a couple months ago, I did snag the name The Restless Corpse for the Patreon, but I never set it up. But what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that I should do it? Would that be something like, are you going to be like, oh, you're a fucking sellout if I started a Patreon? Because it's weird, because nobody should ever do that, because if you don't like it, you just don't have to go to it. But I don't know. I think it's something that would be cool. But my problem with it is I don't know. Oh, you know what? Hold on. There's something that, and I forgot to do this a lot in the video. Nobody even said anything, but I forgot about the D scanner. My biggest problem with it is I don't know what the hell I would. Oh, hello. Oh, that's a water world. But that looks like an Earth-like. I don't think that's an Earth-like. We're going to go and check anyway. I believe these are metal planets. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab all the ones that look interesting to me right now. I don't know what to add for, like, reward tiers. Like, that's the thing. People, it's like paying for content. And I felt bad as it was putting video or like ads on the videos. But listen, here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set one up at some point. Probably not, I'm not going to do it tonight. And I'm probably not going to do it within the next couple of days. But I'm going to set one up. I'm going to let you guys know. And if you want to go and check it out, that's cool. But what I want from you guys is maybe some ideas for, like, tiers. Like, you guys know that I pre-record a lot of these videos. Like, I will record the Elite video for the next day. And I guess one of the, like, a low-level tier reward could be, like, hey, you could check this video out as soon as it's uploaded, that kind of thing. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. But just give me your thoughts on it. Maybe I should set it up. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some story time with RC. Now, before we get into this, I will do a little setup for the story. So this is going to be about the band Social Distortion. For when I was growing up, Social Distortion was pretty popular, but I wasn't really into it. I didn't get into Social Distortion until about 2001 or so, when I started listening to like Mike Ness's solo stuff, and I was like, oh man, this is really cool. He does a lot of Social Distortion songs, so I started listening to Social Distortion, and I actually kind of like it. I like Social D. It's not like one of my favorite bands or anything, but I kind of like it. And a lot of you know that I work at a bar. I'm a bartender. I work a lot of Saturdays and Sundays. Not very many Sundays lately, which has really helped with lowering my stress, because I fucking hate working Sundays. It's not like a religious thing or anything. I'm not religious at all. I just hate that place on Sundays. All right, we got a high metal content, which is what I figured that was going to be, but I'm just going to go down the line. I know this one is a metal planet, but these just look like... I'm pretty sure that's a metal planet too. We're going to skip that and we're going to go to this guy over here. So there was this one Saturday, and I live in Milwaukee, and there's a place called The Rave where a lot of bands go. It's a pretty big venue. It's a decent venue. As a matter of fact, my band has played there. We played there with Skinny Puppy back in like '08 or some shit. But one of my friends that I work with, we started this thing called Man Bombs. And this started when I don't know, a month after I started working at this bar. I used to take a cab home every day because I didn't have a car. I would, and it was terrible, and I should not have been doing that because it was so expensive, and I was making like almost no money because I was spending all my money on a cab ride there and a cab ride back, and it was terrible. It was like $30 a day. So I stopped doing that very soon and just started taking the bus. But so one night after getting done, my friend was closing that night, and I sat down at the bar. I called the cab, and they usually take about 10-15 minutes to get there. I called the cab, and I sat down, and he asked me if I wanted a drink. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take a Jack and Coke. So he made me a Jack and Coke, and as soon as he said it on the bar, the cab pulled up, and they called, and they were like, we're outside. I'm like, well, shit, I just got this Jack and Coke. And he was like, dude, just fucking power it down, and you'll be good to go. So I was like, yeah, all right. So what I did was I took this Jack and Coke. It was a pint. It was a double. And I just took it down in one big swig, like the entire thing. And he, like the next day when I went back to work, we were joking about it, and he was like, oh man, you want another Jack and Coke? You can power that down in one go. It's like a bomb. And I was like, yeah, we should call it a man bomb. So we started this thing called a man bomb, where what we would do is we would take entire cocktails, just put 2 straws in it, and just fucking, drink the whole thing in one go without stopping. And we call them man bombs because, they're bigger than bombs. They're bombs for men, whatever. Well, that turned into a very popular thing. And anytime I worked with this guy, we were always doing man bombs behind the bar. We would do them at the end of the shift. It was just anytime we went to like another bar, we would order cocktails and down them like that. And the bartenders would be all like, oh man, what do you call that? And we're like, oh, it's man bomb. So one Saturday, it was a particularly like slow Saturday. So we were just drinking a crazy amount behind the bar. We didn't have anything else to do. And when the shift was over, we went a couple blocks down to another bar that that our bar is friends with. Like the owner of our bar used to work there. And they come over and hang out with us. We go over there and hang out with them. It's a really cool relationship. And their bar is kind of a different type, so there's no real conflict of interest because we get, and this is going to sound pretentious, but we get kind of the older, more distinguished crowd, and they get the fresh 21s that like to start fights and stuff like that. And we don't fucking tolerate any of that shit in our bar. So they go there, and we have our crowd. But after the shift, we went down there, and I believe it was the manager there's husband's birthday, so we were there like drinking and hanging out, and the guy that I was with, my friend that I work with, was like, hey man, I've got these tickets to go see Social Distortion. I got them free. We get tickets to shows all the time, being that we work at a bar. They just drop them off and whatever, it's like promotion. Excuse me. So he was like, hey, man, we should go see... He was joking. He was like, oh, we should go see Social D because we were already fucking plastered. And I was like, yeah, you know what? We should. That'd be fucking awesome. So we downed a couple more drinks because, you know, drinks at a venue like that are always way more expensive. And we called a cab and we went down to the rave to go see Social D. I don't remember what the band was that was opening, but we got there while they were doing their set. And so we immediately went to the bar there, and we oh man, this fucking ship, dude. This ship is changing everything I know about stopping in time to scan these planets. So we sat down at the bar. We both ordered the man bombs, which by this point they had turned into like flavored Bacardi drinks and Red Bull. It's fucking terrible. But we ordered our round. We did them as man bombs. We ordered another round, and we were sitting there nursing them. And we were both just absolutely wasted at this point. Like, I don't know how I was still awake. So he mumbled something to me, which I later found out was, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, because I was half drunk and not even really paying attention. So he got up and he left. And I was like, sitting there for a second, just drinking my drink a little bit. And then I started to think to myself, like, where the hell did this guy go? Like, where did he go? So I stood up. I started wandering around looking for him. And at that point, I had to break the seal. I had to go take a piss. So I asked one of the security guards there where the bathrooms were, and he showed me, or he pointed a direction. And I went that direction, but I went too far, and I couldn't find the damn thing because I was plastered out of my mind, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So when I finally found the bathrooms, there was like a small line, like two people in front of me, and it was piling up behind me. So when I finally got ready to go into the restroom, I went in. There was only a stall open. All I had to do was piss. There was only a stall open. So I went in, closed the door, locked it, sat down on the toilet without lifting the lid, and passed out. I literally passed out. Like, I didn't piss or anything like that. I just sat down because I wanted to get my bearings for a second and passed out. Nobody even wondered where the hell or why this person was in this stall this entire time. But this was right at the beginning. Like, Social D had just gone on stage. They were just about to play. I heard the beginnings of the first song. It's the last thing I remember. And then when I woke up, all the lights were on. There was no music going on. There were a few people in the restroom. There was a line outside. I got up, walked outside, and my friend was standing out there, and he's like, there you are. And the only thing I said to him was, Jared, I'm going to die. And he, laughed and put his arm around me and started guiding me out because he could tell that I was absolutely wasted. I could barely walk. So we go outside to where he's already called a cab. The cab is waiting. And he kind of just piles me into the cab, gets in after me. And the last thing that I remember that entire night was repeating, Jared, I'm going to die.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
This was a Saturday night. Back then I worked every Saturday and Sunday morning. So I woke up the next day, felt absolutely great. No hangover. I was probably still drunk, to be honest, but I felt amazing. Jumped on or I called my cab, got back there. Or no, at this point I was taking the bus. I jumped on the bus, got in there, immediately went into the bathroom and puked my guts out. But, I mean, I felt great up to that point. So, basically, when I tell this story, this is I call this story the I still have not seen Social D live story, because it's weird to me that I passed out not only in a public place but in a public bathroom. Nothing happened to me, thank God. But it's weird to me that nobody knocked on the door, tried to wake me up, asked if I was okay, anything like that. It was absolutely crazy. And it turns out that he had been looking for me almost the entire time, so he didn't really get to see the show either, so I kind of felt bad. But maybe someday I will actually see Social D. They go to the rave all the time. In any case, guys, that is all the time I've got for this episode. So if you like this episode, go to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of Elite Dangerous or any of the other videos that I've done, go and hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, throw it down in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. That is at RestlessCorpse. Go ahead and let me know what you think about the whole Patreon thing. Maybe I'll start one up. Maybe I'll start one up regardless and just not tell anybody. I don't know. But I think it'd be pretty cool. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Frameshift drive charging. Eject. 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 Eject.